Hi, and welcome to Yeti at Large. This is a channel focused on making the most out of what you have, no matter where you're at. Thanks for tuning in and helping out. So far, one of our favorite things with the trailer is morning coffee. So we got our feet wet working on the trailer by redoing the front window. Now it's not completely finished. We'll tell you multiple times that we're going to touch everything 3 or 4 times before we get it right where we want it. But we took the window out, we tuned up the screen, we took some dents out, we cleaned everything real well, and we replaced a lot of missing rivets in the window. So now it's functional. We can get pretty good seal on that. Take a look at how we did it all. So these are the original anchor points for the window. I'm just trying to flatten them out and close this up so they hold the screw a little bit. Again, she's a survivor. This isn't a full-blown restoration making her something she wasn't. We're just gonna get her tuned up, straightened out. So with any good hot rod project, airplane, boat, car, or travel trailer, and to a certain extent, household restorations, you're gonna touch the same thing many times. You may put an engine together and test fit it 5 times before you get its exact location correct. Finnegan's Garage. By restoring these screens and cleaning them and trying to reinstall them right now, we just get the thing clean. We're starting to take inventory of what we need, and we're taking it one step at a time. Look how dirty these are though. Aluminum doesn't rust, but it oxidizes poorly. So we're going to break out the pop rivets. We're going to try to put in some fresh piping for these window screens, and we'll get her reinstalled and see what it's like to have wine this afternoon looking through a clean glass window. So the day's almost gone and we're still working on the front window. We've pop riveted the corners together, both here and right there. But the problem is where the open brackets have those middle supports, this is completely hogged out. So what I'm going to do is I've got some of these old strap brackets, chrome, that I'm not using. I'm going to trim them down, drill 2 holes in them, and sandwich pop rivets on either side of this, and get these brackets back in contact with the frame. The one on the inside may go like this, and the one on the outside may go like that. We'll figure that out. I took time today to sell a Corvette though. Sold this to my youngest today. But this is an 85 C4 Corvette, tuned port injection L98. Since then, it's half disassembled. He's taken the motor and everything out. You've seen those other videos. And there is most of the Corvette in boxes and labeled, and there's an engine buried in there somewhere. The main thing is to clean it, to rebuild where it was loose, and to preserve it. Here, the previous owner was very protective of this trailer, and he put a sheet metal shield to protect this window from any debris the rear tires on his truck would kick up, because he used it as a hunting trailer. Someday we'll fill these with JB weld, sand them smooth, and or replace these, but for right now I'm just putting the smallest self-tapping sheet metal screw back into that hole to protect unwanted water from getting into there. These are where the original factory holes were to attach the window, and the holes behind these are much larger, years of wear and tear. So I've taken this exact self-tapping sheet metal screw, with the exception that I grind off that drill bit tip and put a point on it. I don't want it penetrating too far into the frame and damaging something I hope to preserve someday. As you can see, we got her cleaned up. One of the best things that we did was rebuild this screen frame, which this is what attaches to the wall of the trailer, using multiple different sizes of pop rivet. You can see we used the 1/8 pop rivets to rebuild the corners, the 3/16 pop rivets to rebuild those vertical sections, and I think somebody ran their coaxial cable to their satellite dish here to get a Chargers game once upon a time. So yeah, we're real close, and we'll try a function reveal, and we'll look at it from the inside. So we've scrubbed the aluminum, we've covered all the holes, we cleaned off the self-tapping portion of these screws so they don't go in too deep. We're still going to cover these with just screw heads and a little silicone so that we don't get water in the frame here. But we've been tweaking this for about 10 tries now to try and get this dent that goes across the window here, and we're going to try to close it. And it locks in beautifully. We're going to call that a win for today. I'm going to cover these screw holes And the front window has been gussied up. All right, so don't judge my workbench. We're mid-project. We've got done pop riveting and fixing all of the stuff that we could. I patched most of the holes that are in the window frame to prevent unnecessary water from coming through. But I've got some holes in the window frame where I can't put an original size screw that was in there back in, or it'll hold the window shut. So I've taken the grinder and I've cut off most of the screw and left this, looks like a hi-hat, of a fresh chrome screw. I'm going to take a little clear sealant, well it's white but it dries clear, and glue these in there. I'm just trying to prevent water getting in. Like I said, we're going to be taking this window off 2 or 3 times during the whole project, but for right now we've got it clean, we got it functional, and we've repaired all the loose parts so that we don't have to worry about it falling apart. And I'll ask you right now if I have any union trained electricians watching this, because if I do, you guys know that when you put in a screw, it's always cat's eyes, meaning those flathead screws are perfectly vertical in an outlet. That way, that's a calling card for a well-trained electrician. This is a Phillips, but I'm still going to make sure that it's pleasing by being perfectly vertical. This sealant will dry clear, and then when it's dry, I'll come back and clean off the extra. But that's just a little bit of a fashion statement, if you will. Well, up until today, this trailer was one of the few things in our lives that's not covered in dog hair. Covered in dog hair. This is not a giant doghouse. I know it looks like a giant doghouse on wheels.